Hello, my name is Nick Ranieri, and today I'm here to walk you through the steps to creating pizza rustica, or Easter pie. Not only is this a recipe that has been passed down through my family for generations, but it's also a tradition where every Easter we come together and make this pizza rustica. Now let's get into the ingredients. Supersod, hot sausage, sweet sausage, prosciutto, mozzarella cheese in a basket, mozzarella cheese in water, ricotta cheese, eggs, and pie crust. It's now time to begin the chopping process, so gather your cutting board and your knives and let's begin. Doesn't that look fun? There's no order into which you chop your ingredients, so feel free to do it in any which way you'd like. There's some salami. Now that we've finished chopping, we then crack our eggs into a bowl and begin to lightly beat the eggs. Then, you want to make a little hole within the bowl of ingredients that you just made. We get our eggs and pour some of them into the center bowl, and pour the remainder on the outside, filling up the bowl with whatever excess you have. It should look something like this. Now, we begin the mixing process. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Well, that's looking good. I'd say we're just about done. Now that our filling is ready, we can gather our Pyrex or casserole dishes and begin making the crust. Make sure you fill the entire dish, but also leave some crust hanging out over the edge. This will be important later on. Now that you've finished your pie crust, you can begin filling your dish with your Easter pie mixture. There's really no right or wrong way to do this, just be sure that when you're done, your entire dish is filled to the top with Easter pie and it's flat and level all the way around. Looking good. Before it's ready to go in the oven, we now have to put on the top layer of dough for our pie. Try your best to create as little overlap between the pre-existing crust and the new crust you're placing on the top. This will help us give a more even and overall balanced crust to our pie. Wow, looking good. Since we used multiple pieces of dough, right now we're going to squeeze the two different pieces together to make sure they hold. We are now on the final step before our Easter pie is ready to make it into the oven. Remember that excess dough we spoke of earlier? We'll simply take that excess dough and flip it onto the main part of the pie. Do this on all four sides until no more dough is hanging off the edges. Keep in mind that on the corners you're going to have a lot of excess dough, so feel free to cut that down. Your Easter pie should look something like this. Very nice. Our pies are now ready to cook. Set your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and begin the cooking process. This should take roughly 2.5 hours. While we're waiting for our pies to cook, we're going to take this time to crack a few eggs. But we're not just going to crack them and dump them into a bowl. We first have to remove the yolk from each egg, because that's what we're after. After removing the yolk, we're going to beat them lightly. Using these lightly beaten yolks, we're then going to take our pies out of the oven 15 minutes before they're done, and paint the tops of each one of our pies. This is what's going to give us that lovely light brown coloring that we're going to see when this is all said and done. Our pies have been cooking long enough. It's time to take them out of the oven. But before we do anything else with them, we must let them sit for at least an hour to cool down enough for us to remove them from the dish. Now here's the secret to getting your pie out of the dish. You get 2 baking sheets and you flip your pie upside down. Then you lift your dish ever so slightly off of the bottom baking sheet and you wait. Gravity will do most of the work for you. And there you have it. Your pie's out. Now, as you just did before, you get your 2 baking sheets and you flip one more time. And there you have it. Your Easter pie is ready to eat. I am extremely excited. Well, there's nothing more to say except let's eat.